again, I'm Jess with HonesTea, and today we are going to be reviewing Thompson's Punjana blend. So Thompson's is actually a Northern Irish company that's established in Belfast way back in 1896, and they do quite a wide range of teas. Now, most of them tend to be black teas. You have your everyday tea, I know is a big one, Irish breakfast tea, I know they do decaf, and then you can also get kind of smaller packs of herbal tea, peppermint tea, Earl Grey. They tend to do a whole range. However, their Punjana blend is one of by far their most popular. It is a black tea. On the back, it does kind of talk about how the tea is grown in an Indian plantation as per the mother's liking, and it has a lovely little story. And apparently it's named Punjana to keep the Indian heritage. However, as per some research, I have just found out that it's actually grown in Assam and Kenya. So, I mean, you can say what you want, but I'm assuming that the origin is originally a little Indian tea plantation, which is kind of romantic, so we'll keep that. Right, so, as is a little bit different from our last review, this one doesn't have any instructions or, kind of general guidance as to how to brew. I think they just assume that most people know how to brew tea, and living where we're living, I think it's safe to say that everyone knows how to brew tea. So what we're gonna do is just kind of follow the general instructions we did yesterday. I'm gonna say about 4 minutes because that seems to be kind of the general instruction tea brewing time that you would find on most packets. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then it's going to be the exact same rating system as last time. We're going to go through strength, depth of flavor, aftertaste, and then finally rank it on our flavor scale. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It comes in a big massive pack like this. Well, you can get slightly smaller ones. This is 160 bags, and it's probably like the middle size. You can get ones that are absolutely insanely big, and you can get ones that are maybe about half the size, maybe a little bit less. So we'll go ahead, and when you do open this package, you're actually just going to get little tea bags that look like this. There's no like string or anything on them, it's just your basic tea bag. So we're going to plunk it in and then pour in some boiled water and give it about 4 minutes before we taste and see if we need any additives. Here we have plain water in the tea. I'll show you again kind of how much I put in. Same amount as last time, just like fairly full, but we're gonna take the tea bag out so we'll have room to put milk in there if we want. So like I said, 4 minutes. We'll give it a little squish. Black tea for me personally, I don't like quite as strong as like the masala chai we did last time. I find that super strong black tea just almost gets a little too malty and sometimes bitter for me, so I would always take the tea bag out, unless I can, no big deal, but I would normally take it out if I can, so we'll give it 4 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes, and I just realized that I forgot to tell you where to get this and how much it is, so if you're where I am in Northern Ireland, you can pretty much get this in any shop. It is super, super common, and a bag like this with 160 tea bags is normally about 3 to 4 pounds. You might be able to get it on sale cheaper. Like I said, you can find it everywhere. Prices may vary. Normally about 3 to 4 pounds. So we're gonna go ahead and give this tea bag a nice good squish. And now chocolate compost, because we are good people who care about the planet. And we'll give it our first cursory sip to see if it needs any additives. I may have had this before, so I know what I will probably want, but we'll pretend that I've never had this. Oh, it's so hot. Yeah, definitely for me, it needs a little milk and honey. I know lots and lots of people that just drink it with milk, and I think that it would be okay with milk. You would just need a fair amount because it is quite bitter if you don't have anything else in there. So personal preference. Me, again, I'm gonna go for my typical 1 overflowing teaspoon of honey. Give it a good stir. And a splash of milk. Probably about the same as last time, maybe a little bit less. Not quite as latte colored, maybe like a toffee kind of tan color. Here, I'll show you what I mean. There you go. All right, so we are now going to give this a try and start our rating. So first is strength, just based on a 4-minute brewing time. And here we go. Hopefully I don't choke this time. So already, this has got the perfect strength for me. I wouldn't really want it any stronger than this, and you can definitely get a full like body of flavor in your mouth with just one little sip. So for me, I'm gonna give this strength probably about a 9, because it doesn't blow my mind, but it's pretty good. Like, you'd have to be amazing to beat that. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a 9 on strength for 4 minutes. And black kind of regular tea is something that I find tastes really vary, especially here when people take it so seriously. So this is just my personal preference. Everyone's opinion could completely vary. Some people like it way stronger, some people like it super weak. So for me, I like to think I like it in the middle. 9 for strength. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to the depth of flavor. Just take another quick sip here. And it's quite good. This is actually one of the reasons that I think Punjana is quite popular and that I personally really like it over other black teas. And that's because it's not like such a pure like malty flavor. It does have kind of like a layered thing going on. And I know that might sound pretty pretentious, but just trust me in that there are a few different things that do come through when you have this. There definitely is like that stronger, darker note, and then kind of after you do get like kind of a brighter, obviously not like green tea, but you can just tell that it's not quite as dark and as strong, and it definitely has like kind of a brighter taste that comes through after. So there's definitely 2 distinct layers, I would say, to this one. And I think that's quite good for like a regular black tea. It doesn't really have any other like spices or herbs to lean back on. So I think that that is quite good. I am going to give this depth of flavor an 8. Because it doesn't quite blow my mind either, but for a black tea, it's pretty darn good. And finally, we're gonna move on to aftertaste. One more, just to check. So I kind of get a bit of a bitter aftertaste in mine, even though there's honey and milk in it. And I know that when you drink this without either, there's like even more of kind of bitterness coming through. So for me, that's not great. And the more it kind of sits in your mouth, like it's just better to keep drinking it as opposed to just letting it like develop. So that's kind of a negative for me for sure. I'm probably gonna put that down as like a 3. Because it's not an awful taste, but like I wouldn't want to be going up and talking in someone's face. Not that you do anyway, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not like you're confident, like you just chewed a stick of gum. Like, it's not gonna smell nice if anyone is smelling your breath right now. So, yeah, let's give it a, no, actually, I'm gonna change my mind. Let's give it a 2. Because you can definitely have worse, but not that much. So, 2. And I don't think that's strictly unique to this. I think most black teas, but who knows? Haven't reviewed them yet, so I guess you can't really tell. Finally, we're going to move on to the scale of flavor. So, like you guys remember last time, the lower numbers, 1, 2, 3, they're all kind of light and floral, like fresh teas, white teas, green teas, herbal teas, stuff like that. And then as you move up towards the higher numbers, 8, 9, 10, that's gonna be like stronger, maltier, darker teas. So that's where we're gonna expect this to fall. But give it a taste just to remind ourselves, and then we will place it. So, as we talked about earlier, there are 2 kind of like distinct layers to it. I would say the malty, like dark layer is definitely more pronounced than the kind of brighter layer. So this one is definitely going to be up in the 8, 9, 10 range. I mean, given that it's a black tea, that's exactly what we expect, and it doesn't really have any brighter spices to bring it down at all. So I'm gonna say that this is gonna be probably an 8.5 or 9. I'm just gonna look at the numbers and maybe that'll, let's say let's say a 9. I'm gonna say a 9 because even though you can probably get stronger than this, and I know I have had stronger teas, like not crazy, you know, it's not going to be a huge difference between this and like one of the darker, stronger teas you can get. So I'm going to say a 9. Good safe 9. And that is almost us. The only thing we have left to do is give this a final rating. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't stop sipping this. This is a good cup of tea. And you can tell why people are completely obsessed. Overall, it's got, I mean, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. It's got great strength, excellent depth of flavor. Aftertaste, not great, but if you keep drinking it, you're not gonna have time to really develop an aftertaste, so that shouldn't matter so much. And then scale of flavor doesn't really contribute to the overall rating, just kind of a general profile. Helps us generate more of a complete profile of the tea. So I think overall, this tea merits, I'm gonna say an 8. And for me, the only thing really stopping this from being a 9 or a 10 would just be that like nasty aftertaste. And to be honest, I don't think that's the kind of thing that the tea can even help. It is what it is. We're gonna let it be itself and keep it at a good solid 8. So everyone, Thompson's Punjana tea, an 8. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.